Peekaboo, how you put them boogers in my chain? Peekaboo, 80 pointers like a Kobe game.
You believe in me, life isn't what it seems. North Pole cold, my little heart it be freezing. I got the big Drake, though I don't be all in my feelings. I got the big bankroll, I don't be having no children. Try to take my soul, you ain't having it, nigga.
Baby, go around the pole, yeah, it's all like hope, yeah, it's all like hope, yeah. They don't know you.
Think about your favorite artist or athlete, or I'm an actress, so think about your favorite actor or actress. You did not even know they existed until you knew they existed. Maybe there was a certain song, maybe there was a certain movie that you watched and you were like, oh my gosh, I really, really like that person. Who are they, right? So then you just start watching all their movies, you start listening to all their music, and you become a fan. I love Viola Davis. I love Ryan Coogler. I love Jordan Peele. I love Elizabeth Moss. I love Kendrick Lamar. Mustard! You know what I mean? So I did not know that they existed until I found out that they existed. Just because you didn't know that they existed at that time doesn't mean they weren't there. Of course they were there. I didn't know these people existed until I found out that they existed, right? Through their work. Every single person or figure that you look up to has had to go on a journey, has had to take a journey to get where they are. Every single person that you look up to has had to go on their path to become who they are. I mean, imagine if Ryan Coogler was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with football and I don't know if this film thing is gonna work out. I'm just gonna leave it be, right? Or imagine if Kendrick was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this rap thing. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't, right? So they had it up here. They had it in their mind. They had it in their brain. They could already see it for themselves. They knew that that was their calling. And I'm not saying that even if they didn't do it, even if he wasn't in film or he didn't do music, you still wouldn't have found out about them. But your favorite artist or athlete or whatever would not have touched your life like they have now. But because they persevered and they stuck with it and they stuck with the story that they chose to tell themselves, because they could already see it up here, because they weren't worried about what anyone else was saying at the end of the day. Yes, they're human. Yes, sometimes people are going to try to talk you out of something or talk you down when it comes to something or make you feel inferior or whatever. Or maybe it's even yourself. Sometimes we can be our worst enemy, right? But they chose to stick with the story that they were telling themselves because they already saw it. And because they already saw it, it's already happened. It's like what I said in the last video. Everything that you see around you was once a thought. It was once a thought before it came into fruition. Everything happens on a spiritual plane before it manifests into the physical. Everyone has to go on a journey that is specific to them. You have to go on a journey that is specific to you. It's tailored just for you. No one else can go on it but you. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that envies you right now. And what would you tell them? Well, I had to go through this and this and this. I went through hell and back. I did this. Do you know how hard it was for me to do this? Do you know how hard it was for me to get this, to get this? And it doesn't matter what you tell them. They're still going to see you as lucky. They're still going to think you have it all, even though in your mind, you know what you went through to get to where you are. And maybe you're not even where you really want to be yet. Maybe there's a lot that you still want to do, which is great, right? But there's someone that envies you and what you have right now. So going back to my example of the actors and musicians and stuff, right? Just because you didn't know of them at a certain time doesn't mean they weren't there. They've always been there. Another example, let's take maybe you just tried this new dessert for the first time or a new restaurant for the first time or whatever. And you're just like, where has this been all my life? Just because you didn't know that it existed doesn't mean it was never there. Let's say even if the dessert is new, right? It just was added to the menu. Somebody had to think of that before they created it. And then now it's in your mouth and you're tasting it. All this being said, why can't we think of our manifestations this way? Why can't we think of our dreams this way? Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not real, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just realized this was here the whole time. It's my brush. Just because you don't feel it or it's not here or you can't see it with your physical eyes doesn't mean it's not there. What you desire already exists. Okay, what you desire already exists. It's just in a different reality. All it has to do is just, so here's your desire, here's where you are now, right? All it has to do is just this. So if you say, this is the reality I'm living in, this is the story I'm choosing to tell myself, because this is what is true, it has no choice but to synchronize. It has no choice but to line up. Let me give you another example of this, right? This is why quantum leaping, it's a real thing, you guys. The movie Sinners. I remember seeing the trailer last year. I remember seeing the trailer for the movie last year, and I felt this connection to it. Like, I felt like, I don't know, like, I can't describe it. And I was watching it and I was so like intrigued and I was excited. And then I saw 2025 because I was expecting it to be like, oh, this is maybe something I missed, or, you know, this is a new movie that's been out for a while, right? But then when I tell you I blinked and it was already out and it was like in theaters now, and I'm like, when? How did that happen? I legit have no recollection of anything that happened between when I saw it to now. Obviously time has passed, but it's already here. I can't remember anything. So time literally does not matter, you guys. Time does not matter. Time doesn't even exist. The only time that matters is right now, the present moment, right now. That is it. You think something is taking too long when in reality it's already here. I mean, think for yourself. Think of something where you were like, wait, that wasn't yesterday. And you know, some things you might feel like, yeah, you know, it took a minute. But when you really think about it, everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. Why? Because you are on a path that is specifically tailored to you. You think back on all the events and how they happened, they were supposed to happen in that order. You know how, like, when you're thinking of your manifestations and you've affirmed or whatever, and they say, do your next desired action. Follow your happiness, follow your joy, follow the choice that feels right to you, follow the choice that feels best to you. Why? Because you manifest out of love. That is the highest, most just beautiful, most just highest vibration you can be in. That is how you manifest, out of love, out of gratitude, the feeling that you get. Because that's why, like, if somebody's doing something out of hate, I don't want it. Or if I'm doing something that I'm forced to do or that I hate, you're not going to attract what you want. Remember what I said in one of my other videos, You Will Have the Last Laugh video, when I said that a lot of people, when they're losing, they make a lot more mistakes. They're not as clean as they used to be. I mean, think, why is it that certain things that feel right always flow? You don't have to force it. Love, relationships, you don't have to force it. It just flows. It goes right. It almost feels super easy. It's almost like you're floating. And I mean, you never know. I used to read articles on Backstage all the time about how a lot of actors were scouted where, you know, they were at the supermarket or whatever, they're walking down the street. And I think there was actually an athlete that I also read that happened to, and he was walking down the street and an agent was in his car and he saw him and stopped, rolled down his window and said, hey, do you play any sports? And he was like, no. And he was like, well, I'm an agent and I think you would make a great basketball player or whatever. And so there you go, right? Talking about listening to your spirit. Maybe you were gonna go to your friend's house later, right? So let's say you really, really need $20 bad, right? So you go to your friend's house and you're hanging out, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, I'm gonna give you $20. And you're just like, for what? And they're just like, I'm gonna give you $20. Because remember, I owe you for that thing. You don't remember that? And you're like, oh, really? And so they give you $20. That's how it works, you guys. That's how it works. That's how God works. So give thanks to God in advance because you already have it. Everything is rigged in your favor, okay? I got news for you. Everything is rigged in your favor. Yeah, everything is gonna work out and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, everything is gonna work out. It's gonna work out even better than you thought it was. Yeah, start telling yourself that and watch how everything changes. Start telling yourself that and watch the switch. Watch the shift. It is immediate. First, it starts with peace. You have this just calming, warm, peace that God gives you that you cannot get from anywhere else. There's nothing like God's peace. I'm telling you, that's the beginning. That's how it starts. And then everything around it is just, it just flows. It just flows. So start telling yourself that it's all rigged in your favor. So calm down. Calm down. It has already happened. You're going to get that and even more. So start telling yourself that. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, be you, stay true. Bye. That was a scary face. I don't know why I made that face. Peekaboo, how you put them boogers in my chain? Peekaboo, 80 pointers like a Kobe game.
Struggles and pain only make we tougher. Also comes the money get no far. Me love my life, still I make money and my friends alright. Make progress while them backslide. Them can't stop my flame from ignite. One life, many chances. You'd live up, you'd rise to the top. Don't make it through badness. Right now we have to cool off for that. Get a youth one hold on strong.